Welcome to episode 2. This is your RacerX preview for Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship for 2015. Steve Matthes, Jason Weigandt. We will be joined by Jason Thomas and David Pingree a little later. Now, normally when we preview these things, you talk about the champ. Well, the champ's not here. Ryan Villopoto's gone. A lot of hype and talk about Chad Reed, James Stewart. We already covered them, but here's the difference. I'm not even sure if they're the favorites anymore. Usually when Villopoto's at, everyone talks about Dungey. I'm not sure he's even the favorite. I think we're looking at a changing of the guard. There's a different group that is about to ascend to the throne. If you polled the fans, I think there's a different rider. Besides all those guys I mentioned, they would pick as the favorite.
You know what, I think you're right, Weege, and I think this season coming up 2015 reminds me a lot of 1990. Now just bear with me, folks, but...
I hope it is, because that was an awesome year.
The 1980s, we saw Rick Johnson, Jeff Ward, Johnny O'Mara, those kind of riders, Ron Lachine, rise to the top, win a lot of titles, win a lot of races. Well, by 1990, they were getting phased out a little bit. Age had caught up to them, injuries had caught up to some of them, and I think we're kind of seeing that now. We saw guys like Bradshaw, Larry Ward, Jeff Matthes all win races, all come on, and I think we're seeing that in 2015. I think it's not exactly parallel to that, but it is similar in my mind. Yeah,
and the guy that's getting, I think, maybe the most buzz of any rider is Ken Roczen, and with good reason. He's coming off of last year's 450 title in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross and a great season in Supercross as well. Won the opener in Anaheim, won another race in Atlanta, was close to Ryan Villopoto in points for a while. People are pumped on Roczen right now.
Yeah, definitely. You got to remember, Kenny Roczen didn't finish the runner-up to Ryan Villopoto last year in the points because he had a DNF where he got a rock caught in his sprocket, but it sure seems like he did. It sure seems like he challenged
Ryan quiz Villopoto. People right now who got second in points. Do you think anybody even knows?
I don't think so.
No, yeah. It was Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, it was done.
Everyone thinks, I think, Roczen had a better year because he won 2 races.
And I think he did. And I think he did. I think Kenny Roczen showed more speed than Ryan Dungey, and I think Kenny Roczen showed more panache, let's say, than Ryan Dungey. But having said that, now Roczen switched teams. He has gone from the Red Bull KTM team to the RCH Suzuki team. Jimmy Johns, he's freaky fast. Will he be freaky fast, though?
Their delivery is good, and I would like to have some on this table right now. So
I wish we had Jimmy Johns
dial
too.
Them in, yeah.
But regardless, I would say if Kenny Roczen was on the same bike, in my eyes, if Kenny Roczen was on the same bike, I would think I would have the stamp out. I'd be stamping him for the title.
Okay.
I really would. With no James Stewart and no Ryan Villopoto, I really would. The question I have, though, is the bike change. I know he loves Suzuki. He's a long-time Suzuki rider, but that to me is the #1 question. How's the bike? How's he going to adapt? How's the team? Remember, folks, I've been on some championship teams, and RCH, very capable, very great people over there, never won a title.
Yeah, haven't won a race, actually, at this level.
They've only made a podium. Great guys and all that, but how are they going to react to having a title winner? There's a lot of things in there, a lot of questions. So while I think he's the slight favorite for the title, I'm not stamping it.
It is a strange transition for the sport that 2 of the biggest names battling for this title are on independent-type teams. Yes, RCH is getting good stuff from Suzuki. Let's talk about Justin Barcia, leaving Team Honda for JGR, which gets help from Yamaha, no doubt, but is still a privately run team. And there's a little cautionary tale as we start talking about Barcia.
Yeah.
The assumption is always if a guy does well in his rookie year, well then just look out in year 2. He's got a year of experience. He's going to be that much better. Well, let's show you some stats. We did some research. In the modern era of Supercross, which is basically since the 125 class began, 11 times a rookie rider, first full year in the class, has won 2 or more races. Roczen's one of the 11. We don't know how he's going to do in year 2 yet. So of the 10 that we already do know, 6 of the 10 did worse in their second year. They won fewer races. And Barcia...
Surprising to me, by the way.
Yeah, you would think instantly they'd be better. Barcia, unfortunately, is one of the 6 of the 10 that did worse. And that's a surprise, because last year, I recall you being very, very pumped on Barcia's chances.
I don't recall that. I don't think that happened.
Well, let's help you out.
I don't think that that's true.
Let's help you out. We actually have the footage. Let's show you what you said about Barcia.
Go ahead, but it's not going to show nothing.
Okay. All right.
And now we're going to see Justin Barcia, title contender. He doesn't give 2 rats beep about anybody else on the track.
Yes.
Not intimidated. Working with Jeff Stanton, 6-time, is a solid, steady rock there. And the only thing I worry about Justin Barcia is his bike. I hope he's happy with it. I know he's had some issues with it. Hopefully Honda's learned a few things about the new model. Barcia fan, right here. Barcia is the guy.
Okay. You said that Barcia would be the guy closest to Ryan Villopoto last year. And based on his rookie year,
I remember that.
That was good data. Yeah. What the hell happened?
You know what? That was a very strange deal. Years from now, scholars will go back and look at that. He came out at Anaheim 1. He was the fastest rider in practice.
Yes.
He came out in the heat race, caught James Stewart from behind, won the heat race. The main event, he got a terrible start, still rode pretty good to come to 6th or 7th or something. A terrific ride at the opening round. Now you have this theory at round 2.
Yeah, it was transfer of power. He ran into Brayton, and Brayton got his skills.
Transferred.
Yeah, that's legit.
Well, whatever it was, and I think you're nuts, but whatever it was, no doubt Phoenix was a turning point for Justin Barcia. He fell apart after that. We saw some speed. We saw more crashes. Not happy behind the scenes with his motorcycle. I don't think Honda was happy with him behind the scenes for different things. Everyone was trying hard. Everyone was working hard, but it wasn't working. And now he's on the JGR Yamaha.
Right, which, just like the RCH team, hasn't won a title at this level. They've won a couple races, but this is still somewhat uncharted ground for them. So let's send it to our man JT. Jason Thomas, you've transitioned from a lot of teams. Were they this level?
Who can forget when JT switched bikes from Excel Yamaha to the
3D, Easy Wider,
Subway Honda.
Subway Honda.
How did he adapt?
Okay, he has some experience with this. Will the bike change have an impact for Barcia and Roczen, JT?
Ken Roczen ist ein Held. So many questions about Ken Roczen. Justin Barcia as well. Both of these guys are switching from full factory teams into satellite supported teams. I really don't think it's going to matter too much. They're still on factory motorcycles. They're still some of the greatest riders in the world. Both of these guys are wunderkinds of the motocross scene. I think they're going to both be up front. I think that Ken Roczen is one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win this championship. Justin Barcia is a little bit bigger of a question, but back to the point of them changing motorcycles, you're not going to see anything different. These guys are incredible. They're going to suck it up and be at the front.
Okay, JT, continuing to do good work here at the RacerX headquarters in Morgantown.
Nice to see.
Yeah, somebody's got to do the dirty work. Let's talk about Barcia a little bit. So we know what your prediction was last year. What do you think about this time?
I'm not on the Barcia bandwagon as heavily as I apparently was last year.
It'd be hard to be on it.
I was drinking a lot when we were shooting those last year.
But
you know, I think he's going to be well. I think he's going to do good. He's certainly going to look okay at many races. But you know, we just saw him in Lille. I was there myself, and we saw him at Genoa with that bad accident that thankfully he's okay at.
Yeah.
I'm not as pumped on Justin as I was last year. I think he'll win some races, but I think he's got a little bit of a show me, mentality to myself before we can say he's going to challenge for the title. How's he do on the bike? How's he adjust to? I know his surgery was pretty bad that he had on his ankle. Let's wait and see.
I think it's going to come down to starts, and I know it always matters in Supercross, but I think a little more than usual because
you're a regular Gary Bailey.
Yeah,
down to starts,
dude. Last 4 years, I don't even know if Ryan Villapoto was a good, good start, don't crash, and then win. The starts, I don't even know where Ryan Villapoto was as a starter. Was he the best, the worst, okay? It didn't matter. He was gonna eventually overwhelm you over 17 rounds and win. I don't know if anyone in this group is so much better than everyone else where they could just consistently go through the field. Now, Barcia traditionally is a really good starter, and those JGR bikes are usually really good, but he struggled with the starts most of the times we've seen him on that bike so far. I know they were off-season events. If he gets starts like he used to, he could really be a contender, but if he doesn't, I don't know what's gonna happen. And that's a perfect transition into the third guy we want to talk about on this show, Eli Tomac. Not as flashy as the other two because he's not switching teams, he's staying with Geico Honda. Looked really good in the off-season events in Europe, but for him, the starts have been the Achilles heel for a while, and as good as Tomac is, if he can't figure that out, he's not going to win the title. So it's really up to that, I think.
It is. You're right, Jeff. Starts are going to be key. Another thing with Eli, he's never been totally 100% comfortable with that Honda. Well, guess what he did? He went and bolted on the KFS suspension that Troy Kennard has on. Now he loves it. Now he loves the bike. We saw him in Lille. He dominated, folks. I was there. He was on another level. He made the whole weekend boring. Barcia started with him a couple of times, but it was see you later. Next week in Genoa, Italy, he won again. Eli Tomac looks fantastic this offseason. Now, what that can really transfer to Anaheim 1, I'm not exactly sure, but he looks great. I don't think there's any doubt he gets a win this year, his first win, and I don't think there's any doubt that he challenges for the title. He looked that good.
Yeah, I think he's almost a little underrated. The first year last year was a wash with some injuries, and I think people have forgotten. This is a guy who ran with and beat Ken Roczen a lot just 2 years ago in the 250 class. And if you're gonna pick Roczen as a title favorite, like I think a lot of people are, you can't count out Tomac as long as you can get off the gate consistently.
Don't forget it. Tomac's dad is gnarly.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Really?
He's gnarly.
I think I've heard about that. Yeah. Let's check in with David Pingree. We'll ask him what he thinks of these three riders.
I think these are your guys who could do a lot of winning this year, starting for me with Eli Tomac. I think last year I was expecting big things out of him. Hurt in the opening heat race, and I feel like it took him a long time to really get back onto the pace and feel good again. But once he did at the Nationals, he proved he's got the speed, he can run up front, and I expect him, based on what he did at Barcia and Geneva, to come out firing, and wouldn't shock me one bit to see him win the opener or win this championship, to be honest. So really excited for Eli. I think he's gonna have a great year, and I think he's poised to do that. Ken Roczen, obviously awesome on a motorcycle, no matter what color it is. Pretty shocked by his move to Suzuki. I had a chance this past week to talk to Roger DeCoster about it and see if he could give me any insight, and he said, I don't know. He said it must have just been people he works with kind of pushing him that way. He goes, I thought we had a good relationship, he liked the bike, so DeCoster's as baffled by the whole move as anybody. You know, my personal opinion is it's either money or politics. So he either didn't like being under the tent with another alpha male with Dungy sitting there, or somebody whipped out their checkbook and scribbled a big number on it. So either way, RCH is a great team, and they're ready to win. They've paid their dues and kind of built the team that they need to win races. So I don't think that's going to stop him from doing what he needs to do. And Justin Barcia, I hope he's okay from that crash overseas. Rumors and stuff I've been hearing is that his pace is a little off from some of those other guys, but he's working with Johnny O'Mara. He's got a great team behind him and the JGR guys, and I'm hoping that he can find that pace and come out and be show his true potential, because he should definitely be up front.
Okay, that's Ping's thoughts on these guys, and we'll wrap this thing up. I know we could go on forever, though, especially with this group, because this is becoming the real heart of the order here. Some guys are younger, some guys are older. These guys are about to hit their prime now.
Remind me a lot of a young Tim Ferry back in the day. But anyways, Weege, let me ask you this. So, are you in agreement that Tomac gets a win this year? I would hope
absolutely.
So. Okay,
I think it's actually an insult to him to say he'll get a win. I think that should be so taken for granted.
Well, I just wanted to see where you're at.
Very high on Tomac. Rocky Mountain high on the Colorado.
Yeah, he's looked really good. Let me ask you this, Weege. Give me an over. I'm going to give you 4 wins.
Okay.
Is he going over or under that?
I'm going to go under. I think that when you total up all the riders that could win races this year, providing they all stay healthy, I think it's going to be tough for any rider to win 4. 5 is probably the max. So I'm going to go under. I'll say 2 to 3.
And do you see him winning this title?
It's close. He's right in there. But if you're going to put a gun to my head, I hope you don't.
No, yeah.
You're Canadian. None of you guys don't normally do that thing. Yeah. I would not pick him as the absolute favorite, because I think with everyone in the field, you can come up with a little bit of an Achilles heel, something that could hold them back. And again, for him, it's those starts. For Roczen, it's, hey, it's year 2, he's switching teams. For Barcia, he's switching teams. Last year wasn't so good. There's something with every guy. And Tomac, I think it's those starts.
So I've put Roczen as a slight favorite in my mind for the title. Slight. You agree?
Yeah, I'm going to go right there with you. I think if you took all this data we have and put it in a machine, that's what it's going to push out. It's going to be close. It's not Ryan Villopoto style, but I would say, yeah, I think Roczen's favorite going in.
All right.
It's hard to believe, considering it's a team that hasn't even won a race before, and it's only his 2nd year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Things have changed quickly in this sport. And you can see some of the changes. They got a new TV program, bigger and even better. Our folks at Feld are going to have every race live, and it's really cool. First time ever they'll have live network coverage, not Fox Sports 1, actual Fox Sports in Saturday afternoon at the New Jersey round. That's going to be massive.
So I'm really happy for you, New Jersey.
That means I get more time to hang out and party in New Jersey after the race.
Congratulations.
So check out the TV schedule, supercrossonline.com, and check out this promo for the next season, and we'll see you on the next show.
I'm excited, there's always that little bit of kind of edgy, butterflies, but it's a feeling you really look forward to, and you don't have it, you miss it.
For me, it's always the anthem. As soon as you're hearing the anthem, it's about to get real.
kind of reminds you this is what you enjoy doing, this is why you're here, and bring back the love and the passion for the sport.
Gets you fired up, almost kind of chills up your back.
The speeds are faster, the intensity's higher, and everybody's training hard and working hard physically and raising that bar.
The tension is really high right now. You know, who's going to be the next guy?
A lot of guys are going to be, pushing and shoving for that position. There's blood in the water for sure. For me, this is not my first go-around. Let the craziness kind of happen, and something that you just can't really prepare yourself for other than experience and going through it.
Reaching the lead, and this stadium's going nuts! This championship is a long struggle. It's 17 rounds in 18 weeks, but you've got to survive it.
This is when you have to dig deep. This is when the man in you comes out and you have to go for it.
Get ready. Here comes a gate drop.